To control the church's brand, it sells almost half of its products through its own bespoke shops.
Bespoke is a British word, and it means something that is custom made. So if you buy a bespoke suit, that means you bought a custom suit. The word bespoke comes from the verb bespeak, which means to order something in advance. So in this sense, in a modern world, if you order something in advance, typically it would be something that is custom made. So bespoke is the past participle of bespeak. So in this sense, bespoken goods are goods that are custom made to order, ordered in advance. So in this context, some custom clothing manufacturer might sell almost half of its products through its own bespoke shops. So a bespoke shop is a shop that specializes in custom-made merchandise. Back in the olden days, men's suits were almost all custom-made, so they were almost all bespoke suits. Nowadays, most men don't even wear suits anymore, but when they do, they usually just buy them off the rack and maybe have them altered a little bit. So, you could say they're still bespoke a little bit, but not like in the olden days.
If the 21st century does belong to Asia, at least its masters will be well shod.
Well shod refers to someone who wears good shoes. Certainly back in the olden days, big piece of advice. First thing that people were advised to look at was to look at someone's shoes. If they wore poor quality shoes, that was a pretty good indicator that they were poor or very likely not very well educated too. So if someone had good shoes or they were well shod, that meant that they had some money and they were pretty successful. So from that, the idea of referring to successful people as well shod derived, and people still use the expression. A shod is the past participle of the verb to shoe, which usually refers to horses, but people used to typically have their shoes custom made for them by a shoemaker. So in this sense, people were shod as well, similarly to how a horse was shod. Of course, now people buy their shoes in stores. They're not custom made, but the idea still holds. The word shod largely only survives in these two-word phrases. In this case, well shod to refer to someone who has nice shoes, or because they're successful, or as another word, slipshod, which refers to making shoes poorly. So if your shoes are done in a slipshod way, it means that very little care was taken into making those shoes for you. And similarly, if work is slipshod, it means that it's done carelessly with very poor quality. In addition, there's another word, roughshod, which refers to horses trampling through an area, which may include you. So if your boss treats you in a roughshod manner, that means that he's not treating you very well, not with very much respect, almost like he's running you over with a horse. We get the phrase riding roughshod. So for example, you could say that the company is riding roughshod over its investors. In this case, it means that they're spending money on corporate headquarters and executive bonuses when the investors feel that they should be getting the money themselves, or the company is riding roughshod over its workers, making a lot of money, but not giving much back to the workers, trying to keep them down. So in this context, at least its masters will be well shod, which means that the higher-ups will wear nice shoes. Nowadays, there's oftentimes a disconnect between well-shod and the reality, especially with all of these Silicon Valley executives, many of whom seem to pride themselves on wearing old beat-up shoes when certainly they could afford to be well-shod easily enough. I went down to the Sports Authority and they had this great deal on New Balance. Buy one pair, get a second pair for an additional $30. So I bought 2 pairs, and I'm definitely going to be well shod for at least the next 6 months.
That's all for today. Tom Taylor is an ESL tutor. He teaches English in the United States and outside, all over the world using Skype. He can be reached at his website, which is
ESL-fullsteamahead.com.
Click on this link and check out his website and email with questions. Thank you, Tom, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.